Well, it's about 91 out here, which for June, this part of the country ain't really that bad. It's actually a little cooler, but paired with the humidity, it's enough. And it's been pretty warm. Right now we got some overcast, so it's not as bad as earlier today when I was weeding the garden. So not a lot of new stuff to show you, especially this week. But if I get this out, this will be the first video that I've got out on time in a month. I want to say first off that I can tell that you guys are paying attention, because y'all are seeing and hearing things on these videos that I'm not even catching, such as the weed seed bank that I've had here and I've got to do something about. And the landlord's got that mowed down, but this is still a problem. And there's some other things that y'all have pointed out, and I really appreciate that. Like I said, it's pretty cool to see that y'all are watching and commenting, because that's what I want. And I've got to actually still answer some of those comments when I get done shooting this. But some of the stuff that's going on now in the garden, which may not be so obvious in the video because it's the color and stuff, but you can see right here how yellow the basil transplants are. Seems to be a pretty big problem right now, and I think it's got to do with the compost. So right here you can see here it's just like that on the pepper plants. So it seems to be that all of the transplants are acting worse than say the seedlings here, and I'm not sure why that is. I've got a few guesses. If anybody knows for sure, let me know, because I think by understanding that I can help fix my problem maybe. But all of the transplants are yellowing up, and there's the Thai basil. So when I mulch these things, or I didn't mulch them, when I put the compost on them, I was really proud of myself, because I had a bunch left and I put it on there really thick, and you know, it's like 5 or 6 inches thick in places. But I've complained all along about how mulchy this stuff is, and I think that's what's causing the problem. And I'm not too worried about it in the long run, but for the short term it's been a big problem. So I think all of the wood chips and over too much phosphorus, I think I'm locking up nitrogen basically. And that's not all my thinking, but I've heard other people mention it that has the same type of compost, and the more I think about it and the nitrogen cycle and the soil chemistry and all that, it kind of makes sense on paper anyway. So there's some long-term stuff that I probably should have did before I put this in, such as supplement it with nitrogen, but I didn't know that on the front end. I thought this had plenty more in it. I thought it was going to be actually nitrogen heavy, because I've had that from some of this compost. But anyway, I'm going to put some liquid fertilizer on there, and I've done did it to the peppers and the basil. And I've got this stuff. It's probably not that practical, but on a small scale it is for me. And this is mostly nitrogen, and I think it'll act pretty fast. Now going into the next season, I'm probably not going to put any compost. If I do, it won't be much. And I'm actually going to buy some supplements, alfalfa meal, stuff like that, and try to get my nutrient ratio balanced back out. I'm guessing right now, as I haven't had a soil test, but I'm pretty sure that the nitrogen part I'm right about. I think I'm deficient in nitrogen. So yeah, probably shouldn't have put all that compost on there, but I wanted it on there. I had it, and I kind of don't regret it, because I just should have added some nitrogen in there to start with and stayed on top of the problem, or stayed ahead of the problem. So things ain't looking terrible, but you can see the yellow plants, and I'm going to try to get that back on track. Other than that, I'm pretty pleased with it. Okra's looking good. I've got to thin these down to 1 plant per, so I may do that this afternoon. When I was cleaning out the middles today, I got to noticing some purslane growing. It's a weed here. And I chopped most of it out with the hoe, but I left a few little clumps of it. I like to eat this stuff, and it's obviously low maintenance because it's growing as a weed. It wasn't invited, but I'm gonna make an exception for that. And the compost has been causing a few other things, especially how thick that I put it on there. And one of them is water retention, and I'm having to water every day. You know, usually I'm trying to get it twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. So even though this is kind of a pain right now, dealing with it at the moment, trying to get these plants to grow, I'm glad that it happened, because I'm forced now to change my approach of how I'm going to do this market garden, and I would rather have to deal with it now that I'm experimenting rather than when I'm trying to make money, obviously. So originally I had planned on being very compost dependent, and I have no problem with compost except for the availability of it. And I've talked about that a lot since I've got started. That's been my first problem, and the quality of it, the availability of it is going to be a big deal. And where I'm going to Alabama to do a garden in the future, it's probably going to be worse. I'm probably not even going to be able to get this kind of compost easy. So now I'm thinking of how to reduce my compost dependency and learn how to work with supplements and all that, and still maintain low or no tillage. Now I may have to compromise some on that to get away from the compost dependency. And you know, if something happens and I just have access to great compost and lots of it when I get there, well, that would be the easy way out, I think. But anyway, it's forcing me to learn, and today, dealing with it, making this video, there's been a lot of ideas come up, and you know, I'll just have to try them out and see. For now, I'm going to use a liquid fertilizer to get some nitrogen in there. I think by this fall that those particular beds will be fine. I think they'll have broke down and everything is hopefully balanced out. But yeah, that's what's going on right now. That's all I've got to share with you. Hope y'all like that. Please keep giving me the feedback, especially on this topic, because I can use all the help I can get. I hope that you got some value out of this. If you don't have the answers, maybe, you know, we can read the comments together and come up with an answer to it, because I know this compost issue, it's not just me, it's everywhere. Everybody, especially in my part of the country, southeastern USA, it seems to be a holdup. So with that, I hope y'all like it. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you hadn't already. Thanks for hanging in there and commenting with me, and y'all be good. Bye.